Yesterday, UFC 308, we saw Ilia Topuria become the first person to ever knock out Max Holloway, and in this video, I want to take a look at how he managed to do that. Now, I know it was the left hook that put Max Holloway down, but I want to look at how we got to that point. If you watch my Keys to Victory video, I pointed out 3 keys for Ilia Topuria, which was body shots, extended combinations, and patience, okay? I think we saw all 3 of these in that finishing sequence. The body shots towards the end, once he had Holloway hurt to the head. The extended combinations came throughout the course of the fight, right? He started with a right hand, put a left hook behind it, and then so on and so forth. And then absolutely, I believe we saw patience in, regards to extending those combinations and when you were able to do so. And even in the finishing sequence, we saw him kind of, not just go crazy once he had Holloway hurt, but methodically break him down. So that's what we're going to do, dude. In this video, we're going to go over all that right now. So we're at 225 rather, in the first round, and we see the first big right hand land cleanly for Ilia Topuria. And I believe that while this moment's not overly complicated, it is what leads to, eventually the left hook landing and everything else that lands thereafter. So here we have Ilia Topuria. Angle off to his left, lean off to his left a little bit, and fire a big right hand down the middle. It lands on the jaw of Max Holloway. Okay, again, nothing overly complicated here. Max Holloway gets a little staggered from it, but I just wanted to point it out because when we talked about the extended combinations of Ilia Topuria, something that I said is he doesn't start to add on to a combination or a sequence until the first or the last part of that is working. So we saw this with Volk where he was landing the right hand. Once that right hand was landing pretty consistently, then he started to follow it up with the left hook, and then he started to really put it all together. But for me, this is where Ilia Topuria now knows, like, I'm in range for my right hand, so I can start to put stuff behind it. So let's jump ahead now. 1 minute on the clock where we see him for the first time try that at the very least. All right, now here we are, 59 seconds on the clock, and again we see Ilia Topuria try to put something behind that right hand that he had success with just a minute and a half ago, right? And this is something that is a theme in Topuria fights where he just continuously, as the fight progresses, adds stuff to what he's throwing. And it's incredible the way he does it too, because he waits until you start kind of getting a read on it, and then he goes and puts something else behind it because he's going to use your own defense, the way that you're moving, against you. So throws a right hand, again leaning off to his left the same way that we saw at 225 on the clock, and then he follows it up with a left hook this time. Now, it looked like it grazed. It was very hard to tell. Max Holloway's head didn't move a whole lot. It did kind of look like it might have skimmed him. But it just shows you what he's trying to do here. And also that he needs to make an adjustment. He needs to get in a little bit closer if he wants to throw that left hook. Or have Holloway be a little bit closer. Or get that right hand out of the way. All of these things so that it can land more cleanly. And that's what we're going to take a look at now in round number 2. Where he does something that is so fucking slick. It's unbelievable, and I did not notice it as I was watching it live, but when I went back and started looking at this knockout, I then noticed it, and I was super fucking impressed. If you are a nerd for, like, striking technique, you will love this next moment. All right, now here we are, 3:01 on the clock, round number 2. This is so stunning, okay, to me. I love this kind of shit. We saw at the end of round 1, or towards the end of round 1, him try to put a left hook behind that right hand, and he wasn't quite in range for it to land cleanly. Right. He makes an adjustment here that is just so fun to watch. Ilia Topuria inching forward, throws out a left hand. Okay, because before this he's been leading with the right, which this creates a little bit of trickery in and of itself. Max Holloway's probably expecting him to lead with the right hand, but he's not throwing anything here. It looks like he's going to throw a left hook. He could be going to the body. He could be throwing a body jab. Like, there's a lot of things he could be doing right now with the way his arm is, but all he's trying to do is hook Max Holloway's right hand and pull it down, okay, before he throws his right hand. And it's not even necessarily for the right hand, right, but it does clear a path for the right hand, even if it's just a bit of it, right, because he's not throwing the right hand from that side, but either way it still creates a path. And that right hand misses. It goes right past Max Holloway's head. Okay, right over top of the shoulder. Now you see Max Holloway's hand is down by his belt line rather than where it was before, which is up by his head. Now he brings it up for a second, but now Ilia Topuria is very close. So Max Holloway doesn't know what he needs to do. Now him pulling that hand down it can create a few things, like mentally speaking. If you need to address something, a threat right away, and your hand is down here, you're probably less likely to bring it all the way back up to your head in an attempt to block, right? It's closer to doing something else than it is to bringing it up here. You might not have enough time to do that, and that's what we see Max Holloway trying to do here, right? Trying to frame off of Ilia Topuria and get away from him, but that leaves the right side of his face completely exposed. He's already leaned over in that direction because of the right hand that missed, and Ilia Topuria follows it up with a big left hook that lands cleanly around the ear, upper jaw of Max Holloway. And it also, pulling that left hand down, allowed him to get an extra step closer to Max Holloway before he threw his right hand left hook combination, because that was what led it, but it wasn't really a strike. It was just to get in closer, pull the hand down, clear the path for his left hook, gets an extra step in there, and that adjustment worked perfectly because he landed cleanly on Max Holloway here. Absolutely beautiful. Max Holloway was also trying to counter with the right hand. That's another thing, right? Max Holloway in the pocket oftentimes is not just going to try to he's not going to try to defend necessarily. He's going to try to slip and counter and whatever, because he's confident in his head movement, he's confident in his boxing, and to be honest, he should be, but not against Ilia Topuria, okay? Not against Ilia Topuria. This was something that I thought Max Holloway should not do, was try to exchange in the pocket, try to stay in the pocket with Ilia Topuria. I thought if he was going to have success, it would be at range, kicking distance, things like that. But either way, beautiful adjustment made from Topuria that works perfectly. We're going to jump ahead here just a little bit where we can take a look at something else. All right, now we see the same combination again from Ilia Topuria like 10 seconds later. And again, I think this is just a habit that he picked up on of Max's, whether it was his coaches that did it or him that did it or whatever it was, or if he did it mid-fight, who knows. But Max leans to the left to get away from the overhand. He uses a lot of head movement, and he's willing to stay in the pocket and try to do other things other than just defend or get out of there. So Ilia Topuria, I love that movement that he does. It helps a lot, right? Leans to his left, right hand, lands around the guard, or not even the guard, right? Max Holloway stuck his hand out around the left arm of Max Holloway, which forces his head down and to the right towards Ilia Topuria's left hook. Now Max Holloway, again, rather than trying to get out, rather than trying to block, now he's not necessarily in the best position to be using his footwork right now. As you can see, his rear leg is like that, but he tries to clinch rather than anything else, which is crazy. And you can see Ilia Topuria's left hook already being cocked, or left uppercut or shovel hook, whatever it is that he throws here, works perfectly. Max Holloway tries to clinch rather than defend. I mean, this is a form of defense, but regardless, and he eats a left hook for it, you know? Again, just a habit I think that Ilia Topuria picked up on from Max Holloway, and now that he's got that left hook working behind the right hand, or in front of the right hand, or no, behind it, my bad, I don't know why the fuck I thought, second guess myself there, we see him start to put more on top of it later on in the third round, and we're gonna get to that right now. But it's just beautiful seeing him only use these shots once the one before it starts to work. And then once Holloway's kind of got a read on that right hand where we see him slipping out of the way and shit, he adjusts for it. He throws it around rather than straight, and, you know, also knows he's going to go that way, so he's got the left hook, follow it up. Either way, let's get to round number 3. All right, here we are, 4:37, round number 3. Now, the reason I've got this bit highlighted is because Ilia Topuria does my first key to victory for him, which was to go to the body. And I just like to see it. And also, it's kind of a sign of things to come, because when Max Holloway's hurt, once he's hurt, Ilia Topuria focuses on the body a little bit more than he had been, and we see him rip 2 shots down there, one of which lands real cleanly, and you can see Holloway kind of curl up a little bit, which I think might not have played the biggest role, but did play a role in the finishing sequence. You took some wind out of his sails, which made him less mobile, right? Also, I mean, the calf kicks probably made him a little bit less mobile as well, but either way, Ilia Topuria here comes in with a left hook, and it looks like to me it kind of clips the chin, but maybe just lands with like the top of the knuckle here, because Max Holloway's head does do a little jiggy there or some shit. I don't know, it's hard to tell, but either way. And then when Max Holloway's trying to get out of there, trying to laterally move away from Ilia Topuria's power side, Ilia throws to the body. Now it gets deflected off Max Holloway's right elbow, but still just a bit of foreshadowing, sign of things to come. And I like that he's trying to mix things up now, because Max Holloway is now expecting the left hook up top, which is why his right hand's all the way up there, you know? So then instead he just goes to the body. Either way, let's jump ahead a little bit now to what is truly the beginning of the end for Max Holloway. All right, now here we are, 3:51 on the clock. Now, if you'll remember from round 2, at about this same time on the clock, actually, I believe it was 3:02 on the clock in round number 2. Either way, we saw Ilia Topuria make the adjustment to get his left hook to land, which was to get in an extra step, pull the right hand of Max Holloway's down, then fire the right and follow up with the left hook. Beautiful stuff, and we see it again here with that little hand pull, but just for the right hand, which is enough in this instance because this hurts Max Holloway bad. But again, we have Ilia Topuria, and also he throws the right hand a little bit differently here as well. We've seen him throw it kind of like an overhand. We've seen him throw it looping around a little bit. This one he puts pretty straight down the pipe. Inching forward. Leaps. Left. Hook. Body. Yeah, like, you know, you don't know what's coming. Hooks that right arm. And is already firing the right hand. And it lands clean on the face of Max Holloway. That is beautiful shit from Ilia Topuria, dude. I love little trickery like that. Just pulling that. Because you think a left hook's coming. You do. It looks like he's throwing a left hook. But he's not. He's just trying to get that hand out of the fucking way. And this hurts Max Holloway bad. He is wobbled quite badly and backs up to the fence. Now, this is where we see Ilia Topuria kind of go off a little bit. But the reason he's doing that is because Max Holloway is now up against the fence. He's very limited in where he can go. And we saw him do this against Volk as well. We don't really see him start to go crazy and have these like 5-6 punch barrages unless he knows his opponent can't back up. And it's really high fight IQ from Ilia Topuria. But here we go. Comes in. Immediately goes to dig to the body because Holloway's up. You know, his guard's very high. Now it gets deflected a little bit, but then we have Max fire a counter right hook, which is nice. 3:46 on the clock. Ilia Topuria has just thrown a left hook. By the way, it's been 3:46 for about half a second. Throws a right hand, and then a left hook to the body that misses again behind it, just by the time the clock changes to 3:45. A 3-punch combination in less than a second. That's incredible, okay, from Ilia Topuria. He is very, very fast and very good technique. Something that I love about him, we rarely see him overextend himself, right? Whenever he's throwing shots, he's always in position to throw the next shot. He's very rarely out of position. We saw him do it a little bit in the first round. He got countered for it. Max Holloway landed a good one too after he overextended on the first left hook that I showed you guys, but either way. And then we see him go up top a bit. That one right there, that body shot, Max Holloway literally curls up after. That was a beautiful body shot, and it was a good idea to do that because Max Holloway's doing a decent job at defending to the head. Now we see his hands come down a little bit. He doesn't know what to do. He's just eating shots from every which way, shape, and like everywhere, right? Everywhere. And also took some wind out of his sails. So now Holloway gets out of there. You notice his mouth's open. He's hurt to the head. He just got fucking dug to the body, and he's trying to get away from Ilia Topuria. So I think that that's the way that that body shot helped there. Then we have Ilia Topuria again. Okay, like we spoke about, he doesn't extend the combination until the last punch of the combination works. We see him throw a right hand that misses. Max Holloway slips to the left and tries to fire a counter. Then Ilia Topuria throws a left hook that he was a little too in close for, goes around the head of Max Holloway. But now what does he do? Follows it up with the right hand. That does land, right? Knocks Max Holloway's head back a little bit. So, beautiful shit from Ilia Topuria. Very high fight IQ. Once the first two work, then he adds the third one because he knows that Max Holloway is going to be figuring out the shit as they go along. And then we see it again here. That little feint of a level change every time. It's fucking beautiful, dude. He very rarely shoots takedowns, but it just makes you think about something else. And especially Max Holloway's hurt now to the head and to the body. He's probably like, fuck, I don't know what he's going to do. Jesus Christ, you know? Tries to throw right hand. Max gets in the way of it. The left hook again goes around the back of Max Holloway's head, but the one that lands is the third, the right hand. Again, extended combinations, beautiful shit from Ilia Topuria. All right, now right here is the finishing sequence. I'm going to have to try and pause it a lot, so I'm tricky getting through this one because there's a lot of little things that happen in this 1 or 2 seconds here. Ilia Topuria throws a left hook. that doesn't really land. Max Holloway is trying to tie clinch right now. Okay, again, I think Topuria was aware that Max Holloway would try to do this. He's hurt, and listen, this is not even inherently a bad idea to do. You know, get in a little, just recover a bit, get close so he can't hit you with big bombs. And he's trying to throw a knee to the body, which he does. Now, you can see Ilia Topuria's arm right here. Okay, I don't know if that's just where his arm ended up, or if he's trying to block a knee right now as he's throwing a combination. If he's doing that, that is crazy to have the wherewithal to be like, oh, he's throwing a knee, and then he gets that left hand back out for a hook in just a second, because you notice the right hand goes off the shoulder of Max Holloway. But here it is. Comes from down. You could see it in here. You could see it in here before I just hit play. And then it comes around and just, I mean, absolutely brutal. Absolutely brutal. Beautiful shit from Ilia Topuria. But again, dude, just recap briefly. He knew Max had a habit of using other forms of defense aside from blocking, head movement, trying to counter, tries to frame off, or wants to clinch and throw a knee like he did here, which is crazy. You are hurt, bro, you know, and he's still trying to exchange. Side to side head movement, things like that, that he knows he can put stuff on the end of his combinations. The pulling down of the hand before, which we saw in the second round, which led to him hurting Max Holloway in the third round, right? Beautiful shit. And again, just not extending that combination until the first thing's working, the second thing's working, and now I'm going to keep going from there. Very patient. Body shots were beautiful. The entire performance was beautiful. And look, man, this was a good performance from Max Holloway. He was doing well. I thought it was 1-1 going into this third round. So credit to Max Holloway, but a lot of credit to Ilia Topuria. Absolutely beautiful performance by him. And just, I don't even know what else to say, dude. Like and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it, dude. I'll see you at the next video. Bye-bye.